So today we're very pleased to welcome her here. She's here to lead an open forum on the flat earth versus round earth thinking in the horse world. Please welcome Monica and Joe.
When we were at school, we all heard about this story. Once upon a time, everybody believed that the world was flat. It was just what was believed. And everybody was very careful about going to the edge of that world because you fell over the edge and there were horrible dragons that were going to eat you. So it limited what people did. Then some crazy people came along, brave in their ways, and started suggesting that maybe, just maybe, the world was round and not flat. This met with a lot of resistance because whenever you try to change a belief system, there will be resistance and there will be emotion. It's just that in my studies of horsemanship, as Alexia mentioned, I spent a few weeks studying with my mentor and horsemanship coach, Meredith Ransley. She lives in Australia. She's one of the founders of Quantum Savvy Horsemanship, which is the program that I am associated with. You will have seen it on my stand downstairs. And in conversation, she brought this up, this flat earth, round earth mindset, because that's what it is, a mindset. It really struck a chord with me because I suddenly realized that until recently, I was a flat earth horse person. I loved my horses. I did everything I was told to do. I followed to the letter everything that every VHS pony club and the German system taught me, because I am a German trained person, horseman, whatever. I did everything that I was told was right. I was very successful. I was an ambitious, driven dressage rider. My secret dream was to be Eddie the Eagle of the dressage world. You all know Eddie the Eagle here? Because in Venezuela there are no other dressage riders, so I was going to be good enough and I was going to go to the Olympics. And whenever these round earth images kind of popped onto my radar, I would dismiss them, anything different, I would dismiss them as nonsense and a load of BS. And I had no time for it. I was successful, I was doing what I wanted to do, horses did what I asked them to do, horses did what I told them to do, to rephrase that. And then one day, a very, very dear friend of mine that lives up in Cheshire started showing me some round earth pictures. And suddenly these round earth pictures were coming from somebody that I really respected, and really had time for, and really listened to. She was close to me. And I had been her riding instructor. The way we became friends was I had sold her a horse, and then I was her instructor, and then she did what I said, and it was just perfect. It fed my ego no end. Whatever I said, she did. It was perfect. Then I moved back to London, and she had to find somebody else because the riding lessons over the phone weren't just weren't cutting it anymore. And she went and found this stuff on the internet that was just too silly for words, actually. And she went on and on about it, and she invited me to come up to Cheshire because she had invited these funny people that said that the earth was round. She'd invited them to come over to Cheshire and do a clinic. Would I please come and see what they had to say? I couldn't believe I was actually considering it. But before I knew it, because it was Antonia, because I was so close to her, I was in my car driving 200 miles to listen to what these people had to say. Nothing could have ever prepared me for the emotional roller coaster that I was on that weekend. I was heaving with emotion. I just tried not tearful or well. It was from the core of my core. It was so embarrassing. I had to take myself away. I had to go and hide behind the hedge. Eventually, about the end of the day, when I got myself together, I went and I talked to the gentleman, Shane, from Quantum Savvy, this cowboy. And I said, I don't understand. Why is this happening to me? Why am I crying like this? And he said, oh, you'll be okay. You're just having a massive paradigm shift. And I went, oh, okay. And I went home to look at what paradigm shift was. So I said, oh, this explains it. So I was having a paradigm shift. The structure of my life was being brought down in front of me. The scaffolding of my success was being wiped from under my feet. I could see it in front of me that there was something massive missing in what I had been doing. Because even though I loved my horses, I cared for my horses, I put my marriage on the line because of my horses. I didn't have any new shoes because my horses had a new pair every 6 weeks. You know, I had everything in the catalog. I had every gadget. I had one of them. If anybody had told me at that time that I wasn't doing the right thing by my horse, I would have had their head for dinner. I wanted to do. So what does he really feel about what we're on about? What is his take on all of this? You know, how much rapport and communication do we truly have? And that was what was happening in front of my eyes. I realized that I could make a horse do pretty much anything I wanted it to do. But I had kind of forgotten or just not being made aware of the fact that maybe the horse had a say as well. And that is what still makes me shudder. Because there's so many horses out there that are trying to tell us in the only way that they can that something might not be quite right. And they're labeled as stupid, stubborn, obnoxious, dangerous. If they open their mouth, we put a flash nose band on them. If they open it again, we tie it tighter. If they don't move, we kick them. If they don't move, again, then how about some spurs? Then a long whip. The head goes up, we tie it down. If it doesn't stop, we put a stronger bit. And if that doesn't work, an even stronger one. And if it still doesn't stop, sell it. It's a dangerous horse. Let somebody else deal with it. And I know this is confronting. And I don't know many of you, so I'm sorry. But this is being done by horse lovers. I was doing it because the book said that's what I had to do. The experts said this is how you deal with it. The people that are making legislation and educating and are successful and are looked upon, they're the ones that are telling us that's how it has to be. We need to get the word out there a little bit faster, because it's this flat earth thinking that is making horse riding the most dangerous, or maybe in the top 3 most dangerous activities, sports in England. It is this flat earth thinking that is making 67% of ridden horses lame in this country. When I read that statistic in the Horse and Hound a few months back, my hairs went up on the air. You know, it is this flat earth thinking that has Petplan paying out £1.1 million in claims last year. And that was only Petplan, and that was only what they paid. You know, if horses' DNA was that flawed, they would not have managed to stay alive on this planet for 65 million years. So something has to change. We are doing something wrong. We need to get the word out there faster, to more people, and higher. We need to somehow get to the people that are doing the educating and are doing the legislating. Because something has to change. And please remember, this is not a judgment. This is not saying it's wrong. This is just creating awareness. Yes? We are all doing it because we're told we should be doing it. But it's just creating awareness that maybe, just maybe, the earth is round. And we can go out a little further without falling out. So can I invite you to just take a few minutes to talk to the people next to you. When it's time to gather up again, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to invite some of you to please bring your thoughts forward so we can Any volunteers, anybody want to share something that's come up? And let's, be controversial. That's what we're here for. It's okay, I can handle it. So, bring it on. It's just leading by example. And I think if we all just take care of our little bubble, if I can invite us all to just take care of our little bubble, eventually the bubbles will join up. They have to. They will. If everybody, if I start doing it, and then Alexia starts doing it, and then you say, oh, that's it, and then you start, and then that bubble and then that bubble, and then that bubble. And we are just one huge big bubble in this room right now. mean, how many people can we influence? But it's because that's all we can do. Well, I think the key is, with the horses, is the key word that Sarah mentioned, is education. We are training our horses, and we're very good at training our horses, but we're not educating them. The difference being, send a man to the gym, la la la. When you go like this, la 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 la. You send a man to the gym, and he'll train all day long, and he'll look gorgeous at the end of the day. But will he be any smarter? Right?
His clothes a bit better.
Sorry?
His clothes a bit better.
Okay, so it's the same thing, but that is maybe the discussion of another day, because I have to finish up now. But let's think about educating our horses, about teaching our horses, rather than training our horses. There's a place for both, but we need to be aware of when we're doing which. Okay, I need to wrap it up now. So before I finish, I would like to thank and ask you all to put your hands together for Stacey and Jenny for putting this together. All the platform to share our passion, because it is quite, wonderful to be in a room of people that are actually, you all feel kind of on my side a little bit, which is unusual. So thank you very much. I would also like to thank Rebecca and Alexia. If you could put your hands up, they're also come and play with us one day, and let's have lots of round earth days with our horses.